Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Alexa and I am a teacher plus a health coach for teachers and paraprofessionals. So in today's video, I decided I would give you guys insight on the personal experience that I had with burnout, and in hopes that it would help you if you are someone who is feeling the burnout right now. So I started last year as a homeschool teacher. So this was 2021-2022 school year. It's really hard to say. It's like a tongue twister with these years now. And so it was a nonprofit homeschool school, and I went in a couple days a week, and I thought it would be nice because it was just a couple days a week. So the age range was from preschool up until 8th grade. Actually, the school went up to 12th grade, but I only taught kids up to 8th grade. And I thought it would be great. And I was super excited for it. And I felt called to it when I was asked to do it. So as I started, I was very enthusiastic. Public school and homeschooling are completely different. And so in my experience growing up, is that I was in the public school system as well. So this might be part of my problem when I came to being burnout. So I started, and I didn't know at first what age range I was going to teach, and the communication was a little off. So I was told on my first day that I actually was not teaching, and the other teacher, it was his last day, so that I was going to be just shadowing him. And I was like, okay, cool. So it was Monday, and I show up and they're like, you're teaching. And I looked at them like, I didn't plan anything because on Friday you told me that I was shadowing. So I had to pull activities out, physical education activities, of course, out of nowhere, which it ended up to be pretty well. So I was pretty proud of myself for there. But I had, in my first class, I had 36 kids, and then I had an aide. And that was kindergarten. No, it wasn't. It was first grade, second grade, and third grade combined. So right there, I had an age difference. So if you know, as an educator, you know, there's a difference between a first grader and a second grader. And then there sure as heck is a difference between a first grader and a third grader. So planning for all the kids to be successful at their age level was very difficult. And I also had a really small gym. So 36 kids was really tight. I didn't like that, especially during like a lot of the times kids were getting sick with COVID. So that was a challenge. And as we know, the behaviors last year was just out of hand. But, you know, there were some things that could be changed with that. I was able to, I had to really learn these kids' names and really try to build that relationship with them, right? And it was easy to do for the most part. They were so loving, and I loved the kids. But the one thing that really got in my way was the parents. And oh my goodness gracious. Parents can be a blessing, or they can be like the curse. And I don't like saying that as a teacher, because either way, you have to talk to the parents. You need to communicate with them. And in the homeschool, what I've learned through teaching homeschool is that the parents are the ones that really come and say to you, I don't like this. This is not what I want my children to learn, and things. And each grade level, I was getting that with parents. Left and right, and I was like, I'm trying my best. Like, I was at a loss for words. I had parents emailing me 9 p.m. at night saying that I called their child by the wrong name, which I didn't call them by the wrong name, but it turns out I just pronunciated their name. I was like, okay, like you could tell me that in person. That's not going to hurt my feelings. Of course, I'm your child's teacher and I will get their names down, but it was like my third day, like cut me some slack. So I felt like I was just like watched a lot. I don't know. There was just a lot of differences between the homeschool that I saw and then a public school. So I think that I overthought as a first year homeschool, I'll say, teacher, I overthought about what I needed to do, like attendance. I tried to do like attendance every day. I tried to do fun activities. I would have a lesson set and I was like, this is what I'm going to do. But then I overthought it and I was like, I could do something better. So I would recreate that. I was also asked to do units for them and I was really excited to do that. But man, was that a hard thing to do. And as I was going along in the program, I also realized that the preschool kids, so one thing I didn't mention earlier, I started at 10:15 in the morning. So I would go from 10:15 to 2:30. So it was actually a really nice schedule when you think about it. Got to get up early, do my workouts, and I loved it. So I would have preschool kids like in the afternoon. And they started their day at 8:40. And they did that Montessori program. I'm not sure if it's Montessori, I don't know how to say it. But anyways, it's a program. I knew about the program, but I didn't know much about it. I guess I didn't educate myself on it. And what they do for those kids is it's based on what the child wants to learn, and it's in a quiet setting. So for the phys ed teacher, I would have 25 preschoolers running around my small gym, and every day I was getting a headache because I was worried that the 8th graders who were right next door were hearing through these walls, and I was like, oh my gosh. And you know how little kids are. They don't have any spatial awareness, which is what I teach them in phys ed. And they were just running into each other and sometimes bloody noses, and they would cry. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get fired. So I was really scared at that. So my whole point in saying this, there is so much more. And I actually think that I had more annoyances with this job than I did actual like problems. I know that I say that I had an issue with parents coming at me for little things, but I think I had more annoyances, and I let that get to me. So I was burnt out. And what happened when I burnt out? I would wake up at least 2 to 3 times a week and I would have migraines. I couldn't move. I was miserable. I didn't eat all day. I slept all day. I couldn't hydrate because I was just like down. Then on the days that I was planning to go to work, I would tell myself, it's okay. I can do this. I can get through the day. And it would be 15 minutes before I leave and I went, nope, not going. And I would email them and say, sorry, I'm not coming in. I hated it. I sat there on the couch and talked to myself and I was like, I hate my job. I hate it. I don't know why. Like, this is what I've wanted to do my entire life. And I hate it. Like, I don't know what to do. And I feel like I should stick it out for this year. So what ended up happening is I had tried to talk to my supervisors, and it ended up that I really needed to take my own health into consideration, my own mindset, I ended up quitting, and I felt bad because these kids were amazing. Yeah, I had some behavior issues, but that nothing was too bad. But I realized that my mental health was declining, like seriously declining. And I was really, really worried that it was going to get worse. So for me, I decided to quit, especially because I was not on under contract. So some things that I did about this issue. So for a long time, I told myself that I was burnout, but I had to keep going through it. I felt alone. For a really, really long time, I felt alone. And one day I just decided, I don't know if I was texting, walking with my best friend or something, and I told her how I felt. And she was like, you don't need to continue this. If you're not happy, you don't need to be in that environment when it's not making you happy. Or what are you doing in order to keep yourself from falling apart, right? Like, what makes you happy? What's making you healthy so that you can perform this job better? Well, I was already doing a workout. I was waking up really early and getting my workouts in. I was eating pretty well, but just the job in general, I was like, even my husband would say to me, you're not happy on the days that you go to this job. And when someone says that to you who loves you dearly, you know that there's kind of an issue there. Another thing that I did was I started setting boundaries. So I have another job now. So this really helped me learn how to set boundaries. And I was someone who was a people pleaser, and I didn't want to be mean. But I realized when I started setting boundaries that people were actually respecting my boundaries and respecting me for the boundaries that I had set. And they were okay with it. And I was like, wow, what a difference this makes. Like, all I had to do with this job that I was telling you about is telling these parents, this is when you can contact me, or this is how you contact me. Sometimes they would come out of nowhere and blindside me. And I was like, oh my gosh. The third thing that I did was I started doing a lot of meditation and journaling, and this really, really helped me. I was like drowning. Like I said, I was drowning, and I just started a journal, and I would just write down my feelings and how I felt and what I was going to do with them, as in like working out. I'm going to eat better, or when I come home from this job, instead of grabbing a donut that was on the counter, I'm going to make myself a fruit bowl and have my cup of coffee, and then maybe have a bubble bath for the night. That really helped. And actually another thing that helped with journaling is I had a weekend journal. And what I would do is I would write down every Friday, I would write down how my week went. And I would say, this week went okay. And the reason it went okay is because I felt this sort of way. And then for my expectations for this weekend is that I enjoy my Saturdays and my Sundays. I can expect this for the following week. And so it helped me just like get out what I expected from myself to do better, because I always knew I could do better. So yeah. There's a lot more that I can go through in my burnout, but I don't want to burn you guys out, get it? With my burnout experience. So for you guys, this is exactly why I planned my program Burnout to Brilliance. It's because I know what you guys are going through. And it's all a different experience because we are all different people, but I want you to know that I am here for you. And if you are burnout, my program, Burnout to Brilliance, is open for clients. It's a 12-week program where I teach you the framework that I did to help myself feel better and get to where I am today. So I will put a link in the description below. So this video right here is a perfect video to watch for boundaries. if you are struggling with boundaries. And remember that you are a difference maker. I believe in you, and I'll see you in this video.